Welcome back here on the Roundtable, talking about an event that is happening just in a few hours here in Toledo. Two-mile march and rally to stop gang violence. We've been talking about this subject last week on Bridges, the show that precedes this one. Donnie Miller had Larry Sykes, who's running for Toledo City Council, on the show. She asked him specifically about gang violence, the gang problem, crime in Toledo. Here was his take on how to deal with it.
We have to be hard on crime, especially with these gang activities. We cannot tolerate that anymore. As I stated before, our children have more guns than they do homework. And this is a detractor, and people want to come here because of all the shootings. What we need to do is look at, bring in the county, bring in the city and the school, and tell these little gangbangers and whoever else is that if you're living in public housing and you're living in Section 8 or you're living in developments and that you create or do crime, then you set up the potential of your family being evicted from those units. It's a privilege and an honor to live in public housing and housing that's financed and receive government money. And if you can't do the right thing and create crime, now people are going to say, "Oh, you targeting the inner city, you targeting African Americans." I'm targeting criminals.
Justin, I want to get you in on that. Respond to that. I mean, the right move? Too harsh?
Yes and no. I think because it's the gist of it is I think is you want to help. I feel his heart there, but I don't agree. And my reason being because of the gang makers feel in love. You feel like you in a society by yourself anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think it should be more. It should be instead of course, you want to crack down on crime and get those who are committing crimes the due time that's deserved for the actions. But at the same token, I believe gangbangers need love, and instead of this aggressive force coming at them, it should be love.
I agree. I agree with the love part, but I totally agree as far as us paying money to help someone live in Section 8 housing or public housing. If they do sell drugs out of there and they do shoot people and they're living in public houses, then yes, they should not have the right to live off the public's money.
But the one thing that they continued on to say was that they don't care about the responsibility side of things. That's how they were termed. Larry went on to say that the consequences don't matter. Don't matter. So is that kind of what you're saying, Paul? What do you think?
What you mean as far as
well, what I'm saying is Larry's proposal is you're a gangbanger, you're involved in criminal activity, you're out of public housing. Right. Your family stands to lose where it lives as a result. That would be the hard line. Now you've got Justin who's saying, I don't think that's the way to go. Chris thinks maybe it is. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one for me too. I mean, if they already paid the consequences to their crime and that they did, I don't see why to continue to put punishment after they released from prison or wherever they went. Now I don't have a place to stay. So it will force them to get back into these committing more crimes to get more funding and just keep the chain going.
I want the gangbangers. This is not even you. A lot of these gangbangers, that's not their house. That's Granny he's staying with. He's staying with. That's his mother he's staying with, and then she's going, and Granny have to move, or mother have to move because his actions.
That's the part.
I think but he doesn't. You're saying he doesn't care? The gangbanger doesn't care about that?
No. I'm saying that you guys, Chris, and the guy that spoke, some about putting them out, just evicting them completely. But what about his granny?
I'm thinking about community-wise, and I think that we as family members just need to have a little bit more like a care for them. Like if we know that our son or daughter is in gangs or shooting up people, we gotta get them before Larry Sykes or whoever it is that want to do that get to them. And that's why I believe one of the reasons why what we are doing today is going to help that is getting them to encourage them to care about their family members before the county or the city gets to them.
Does the message fall on deaf ears, though?
I think it does. You're putting a Band-Aid on something that needs surgical repair, because you're saying we're going to put them out of public housing. Well, they're just going to set up shop somewhere else. That's like telling a fraudulent banker on Wall Street, well, you can no longer work at JP Morgan, but you can go over to XYZ and work. That's not resolving the issue. Far too often, and I had this conversation with Mayor Bell, we need to be more proactive instead of reactive. We know every summer when the heat rises, crime rises. As far as gang violence is concerned, we need to have things in place that's going to stop that. We need to create jobs, and I suggested.
But even in the fall, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, but last year we covered a story where some individuals, I believe it was at Scott High School, opened a back door to allow other individuals in the school building to beat somebody up.
That's, well, yes, it did happen, but that's almost like an isolated incident where you don't see as many shootings in the wintertime as you do in the summertime. And that's proven by the numbers.
Yeah.
So we need to be prepared and have things in place. First and foremost, it's a social economic issue because the money, as Paul said, drives the gangs.
Let's talk about, go ahead.
So what can we do to replace those drugs? You know, if you look at the majority of the inner city with kids that's, as far as their education is concerned, we need to do a better job of ensuring that they get the proper education. They take the 3rd grade test of individuals, determine how many prisons to build, and they have that down to exact science. That's why a lot of prisons are private now, and it's funneled and driven by money. Case in point, you have the Mark Cirillo, the judge in Pennsylvania, that was just sentenced to 28 years for penalizing children harsher than other criminals, and more so African American kids, because he was getting kickbacks from private prisons to the tune of $2 million.
We've got about 90 seconds left. I definitely want to get a plug in for this event. Paul, it's happening today, 2-mile march and rally to stop gang violence. Starts at 4 o'clock, starts at Central and Detroit, and the whole goal is just to march in solidarity against this issue.
Right, and we chose North Detroit because this is an avenue, mostly driven inner city avenue that a lot of these different gangs run off of. So we want to march in the heart of the city and show that we're ready and willing to take a stand against gang violence, and that we're going to keep this up year in and year after until we start to see that change happen in our community.
How many strong does it need to be to really prove a point?
When I had a vision of this, I seen it just as big as the race for the walk for the cure. I think I participated in that last year, and I think they had 17,000, 18,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see this. When I had that vision, that's when I seen a multitude of people walking together in unity.
And Jeff, we're asking that everyone, if they can, come in a white shirt, one to show a sign of peace and solidarity.
Yeah.
Or also, you can go to Divine Printing on the corner of Monroe and 11th, I believe, and purchase a shirt for $10.
And then get the image of the logo on there.
Okay.
So.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Good luck to you in today's event. We will continue to stay on top of this topic, obviously, as we move forward. We wrap things up for this Sunday right after this.